Welcome back to Unwinding Roads. If this is your first time here, my name is Teddy. This is my 2022 Jeep Gladiator Eco Diesel, and it is freezing cold. It's actually about negative 15 degrees Celsius. And today I am going to go over this tiny little 500 watt hour, it's actually 499 unit from VTOMAN. It's called the Flashspeed 600, and I know it's a small unit, but I'm pretty excited about it. Reason being is I have other power stations that are big and bulky, and they have a lot more power, but one of the things about power is the more you have, the longer it takes to charge. That's where something like this comes in really handy, and it's called the Flashspeed because it'll get you charged up within like an hour and a half. Now that charge isn't going to run a whole bunch of devices all day long. That's not exactly what this is for. We're gonna quickly put it to the test. I'm gonna run a small heater that you would run in your tent. I have a little heated blanket. Again, you'd probably run that in your tent. It would run the diesel heater. I'm not even gonna test that. I mean, you'd probably get about 6, 7, 8 hours on the diesel heater. I wouldn't recommend something like this to run a diesel heater. All right, change of plans. Let's test out this diesel heater. Now my diesel heater will only run on AC. It does not have a cigarette plug, and if it does, you can expect your diesel heater to last about 10% longer if it powers up at all. You really shouldn't be running your diesel heater off of the DC. I've learned that lesson. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
Start heating.
The VTOMAN 600 is fully charged. Can't really see. Currently pulling in 43 watts. We're just gonna let it get going here. Takes a lot of power to get it going, but once it's going, we'll be able to see how long this will last with a diesel heater. Again, I don't recommend this. Let's just see what happens. And so this diesel heater was pulling in 357 watts, and the VTOMAN Flashspeed 600 is able to do the power up process. And so as you can see, you're looking at almost 11 hours running off of this battery, which is honestly a lot better than expected. I guess you could run the diesel heater off of this battery for a full night. It is nice. It does have the 10 amp instead of the 8 amp cigarette lighter. But as far as running fridges and all these things, I mean, it'll run your fridge probably for a day or so, maybe 2 days, maybe even a full weekend. But that's not why I'm personally excited about a unit like this. This for me is something that I can move around very easily. I can take it to the campfire. I can get my heated blanket going on the back of my chair. I can run the lights on my awning off of it, which is what I'm doing right now. I can recharge my heated jacket overnight. And this thing is light enough that I could just pack it into the tent. I would demonstrate that, but my tent's got a sheet of ice on it right now, so I'm gonna leave it alone for now. But this thing only weighs 15.9 pounds. We'll call it 16 pounds. In the box, you'll find the unit itself. You'll find a bunch of stickers. Stickers are always cool. A cord to charge it via AC or a wall plug. A cord to charge it from your car. Cigarette plug, USB-A cable, and a USB-C cable. On the top of it, there's a nice little latch. You can fit your wires in here. Not all of them, they don't all fit. And these two really nice handles, big enough that you can wear gloves and pick it up. On the back, there's a light, and it goes from bright to brighter to super bright to flashing, and then SOS mode. Now before I plug in the heater and the heated blanket, we're going to talk about that key feature of this thing. The reason why it's called the Flashspeed is it'll pull in about 400 watts to charge. So like I said, you'll be on your way. It'll be 80% within an hour, fully charged an hour and a half, which is huge. With those bigger units, yeah, you can charge them. You're gonna need bigger solar panels to charge them. This thing with a 200 watt solar panel, it'll be charged in about 5 hours. Anything bigger than that, you're gonna be lugging around a huge solar panel. Same thing for drives. If you're charging it off of your car, it'll pull in 200 watts. So again, in about 3 hours, you'll have it fully charged. as opposed to the bigger units you'll be driving around for 8 hours a day. It's one of those things, you know, the more power you have, the longer it's going to take to charge. Whereas in this thing, you could probably charge every day. Another huge feature about it, which isn't really talked about enough, is its operating temperature. You can run this thing anywhere from -4 Fahrenheit to 131 degrees Fahrenheit. That's negative 20 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius, eh? That is a wider range than most of my current power stations. So as mentioned before, this is something I would pack up into my tent on those super chilly nights. Run a little heater like this, warm up the tent a little bit, and then go to sleep. So let's see how long it would run this little heater. All right, I still have the sticker on here, and I'm gonna leave that on here because I like things looking nice and neat. It's not very bright, the screen out here, so you probably won't be able to see it. Maybe there's a way to make it brighter. Okay, the heater going. Turn off USB, turn on AC. We're gonna fire it up. Okay. So it is going. So this is really hard to see, but it's pulling 136 watts. It'll run for 2.5 hours. Crank it up. Now on high heat, you're looking at about 1.5 hours. All right, the other thing is a heated blanket. A lot of us use heated blankets in there. If you don't already have a diesel heater, this is sort of the go-to way to stay warm. And let's check out how long the heated blanket will run for. And heated blanket running constantly, you're looking at about 3 hours. And as far as your outlets, taking a closer look, as mentioned before, this is a 10 amp cigarette plug, which is nice, 12 volt. You have two USB-C 100 watt outlets and two USB-A as well, also 100 watts per port. So you got 4 fast charging outlets. Then you got your AC, 2 outlets for your AC. And even though this is a 499 watt hour unit, it is capable of doing 600 watts with a peak of 1200 watts. It does have AC input of 400 watts like I had mentioned before, DC input 200, solar input 200 as well. It's got a nice little cover, keep the dust out. And this little feature, another really nice feature from VTOMAN. Yeah, that feature is really nice. You can buy a cable, it's $29, and you can use this to jumpstart your car or truck if you ever forget your jumper cables. Another add-on you can get for it is the expansion pack, and a lot of companies are starting to do this where they sell you a unit and then you have optional expansion packs. The nice thing about VTOMAN is their prices are actually phenomenal. So you can get a 1500 watt hour expansion pack for this, bringing the total to 2000 watt hours, and you're still way under $1,000 for the whole thing. But these are today's prices at the time of filming this video. I'm sure prices fluctuate just like everything else. But for all the up-to-date prices, of course, there's a link in the description. And if you use that link, it does help me out and allows me to make videos like this and allows me to get on more adventures where I actually use this stuff. That is gonna do it for this one. Until next time, go away, get lost, and unwind. Thank you very much for watching.
Let's go! Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie.